when I developed this in some of my early books, maybe you know, if you know the joke if you read my book, but it's now half forgotten, but it's sad because I think it's much better than some of my books which are still in print around, carrying with the negative. I take there the example of, precisely, of anti-Semitism in the sense of what makes you anti-Semitic. If you say Jews are dirty, exploiting you, whatever, all the properties an anti-Semitic subject attributes to a Jew, it's not enough, I claim, to be anti-Semitic. You must turn it around. You are anti-Semitic if you say you are dirty, exploiting because you are a Jew. And then if I ask you, but what is that X? You say, I don't know, it's that mysterious something in you more than you. Like it's the same joke as with, for example, when you fall in love with a woman. Or with a man or with whatever. You know, this is an old joke, but it's obviously true. You know that if you know this eternal question, tell me why you love me. Of course, the point is that if you can answer the question, there is no love. Because the moment you can say, okay, I made a mental account, no, minus, your teeth are not quite straight, your ass is a little bit too narrow, whatever, or wide, plus, your breasts are beautiful, your mouth, blah, blah, there are much more pluses than minuses, so let's do it, it's out, it's not love. Love must be so that you don't simply say, I love you because this, but all the real properties become, in your experience, of course, an expression of, there is some, as Lacan likes to put it, there is something in you more than you. I don't know what, but on behalf of that X, I love you. Which is why, the way this is confirmed, this is a nice melodramatic detail. I read it in this kind of a, Keats love counseling reply to readers' answer to readers' questions. That this is why, and this effectively is the experience of most people, I was told, that let's say you flirt with a guy or a girl, and you are still undecided. Symbolically, when do you fall in love, in the sense of, my God, I am in love? As a rule, it's through an imperfection. It's not that you say, oh my God, so many good things, now I love him or her. It's that you note some small imperfection, a clumsiness, the way she or he spills the milk, too loud, stupid laughter, and then it has the form of, fuck it, in spite of that, I nonetheless love him. That's how love always emerges as this kind of, in spite of, I love. It needs an index of imperfection. So, this is why, incidentally, this is a nice vulgar story, but it's true. I read some 20 years ago when they were still young, a kind of a very stupid opinion poll in one of these shitty journals. They asked 1,000 men, blah, blah, like, whom would you prefer as wife? The two beautiful at that point, Cindy Crawford or who was the other one? Claudia Schiffer. Cindy Crawford won. And they gave the answer, Claudia Schiffer is too perfect. Cindy Crawford has that sign there, like, it shouldn't be a perfect woman. There must be a small sign of imperfection. But what I want to say is that for Lacan, in libidinally relating to other people, that's my point now, the name stands for that X. You are not only that. You are a name. Okay, we try to be objective. I hope, is any Carla here or Christina? Okay, so I can use the name. I will not be accused of also when you say emphatically, Carla or Christina is not just beautiful, she simply is Christina. The name tautologically refers precisely to that something more. It's the same when you say a Jew is a Jew. If you are anti-Semitic, you say, however they appear to be normal, there is something, I don't know what, in them. And now, why does here signifier fall into the signifier? Here I will give you an example that I use in that early book, and it's still my favorite. You know, in socialism, we had a wonderful joke. You know, first you should know that it originates from Poland, I think, this joke. Do you know that, you must know that, maybe you know that, part of the official communist ideology was that new socialist society is the synthesis of all that was the best in the entire history. So the joke went like this. Communism, socialism takes from tribal primitive societies primitivism, it takes from ancient antique societies slavery, it takes from medieval society feudal domination, it takes from capitalism exploitation, and it takes from socialism the name. But you see the point. The name must be included into the series. And I claim exactly the same goes for anti-Semitism. It's clear that the figure of the Jew in anti-Semitism, it's a kind of a impossible stand-in for class struggle. This is elementary Marxism, but I agree with the analysis. Why? Because if you look closely at the features attributed to the Jew, they are totally inconsistent. They are an impossible combination of upper level and lower level. Jews are rich, exploiting caste. They are too intellectuals, too hardworking. But at the same time, Jews are supposed to be sexually seducing, dirty, not washing themselves, and so on and so on. They are literally a fetish. Like, you know, like the denial, disavowal of class struggle. So, you can say that, of course, now I'm talking about the anti-Semitic figure of the Jew, that it's exactly the same there. Anti-Semite, in his image of the Jew, takes from rich capitalists' exploitation, from poor people their dirtiness, from promiscuous people their sex drive, and from the Jew the name. No? But again, this reversal, when I said it's not just that Jews do this and that in anti-Semitic imagination, but you turn it around. They do this because you do this because you are a Jew. This means, again, that what Lacan calls the object small a is produced. That mysterious X, something in you, the mystery of what is a Jew, and so on, which makes you. I will talk about this a little bit in the evening, because the mystery here, it's a very interesting one, is, if you are looking into the roots of the Holocaust, is how things radically changed precisely when Jews were, and this is a great achievement of French Revolution and Napoleon, in spite of all other things, when Jews became, how do you call it, politically emancipated, at least officially, no longer quotas and so on. Although I'm well aware how long did de facto apartheid and quotas for the Jews last. For example, did you know that at Princeton University in the United States, I was told it was still early 60s, that there were unwritten quotas, not more than so many Jews. Or one of my most tragic but beautiful experiences, and this makes you nonetheless a little bit softer on communism, is I met in Israel an old communist Jew. And still, he was celebrating Stalin and so on, privately, of course. And I asked him, blah, 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 aren't you a little bit crazy? Stalin got anti-Semitic lately and so on. And he told me something very primitive, simple but beautiful. He told me that he was a Polish Jew from Poland, and that he told me, we cannot imagine how anti-Semitic Poland, incidentally, it still is today, very much, was just before World War II. He told me that there were at Warsaw University, where he was studying, if you have this big lecture hall, on the top left, reserved benches for the Jews, up there. And that's nonetheless nice. He told me, the only non-Jewish people who always came to us Jews and shook hands and so on were the communists. That's nice. Nonetheless.